Hello and welcome back to my class. Please consider subscribing if you have not subscribed already. 2 classes ago, I taught you about sentences. I taught you the 2 types of sentences, simple and compound sentence. I said a simple sentence will just tell us about one thing, and a compound sentence will tell us about 2 or more things. I give examples. If you need to learn this, you can go and watch the video in which I taught about sentences. Now, in the last class, I taught you about conjunctions. And I said conjunctions are joining words. We use conjunctions to join 2 simple sentences together to make them a compound sentence. Now today, I'm going to teach you a rule. This rule is very important when we are making sentences. I call this rule the 6 to 6 rule. So when you're trying to form a sentence, if you obey this rule, you are bound to make a complete and correct sentence. Now, anytime you want to make a sentence, you can ask yourself these questions. The first one is when. When did this thing happen? Yesterday, last week, and so on and so forth. Okay, now that when could start the sentence, or it could also end the sentence. As I said, 6 here and 6 here, so 6 to 6. When could start and when could end. So I can say, last week I went to the supermarket. I went to the supermarket last week. I hope you understand that. Very good. The next one is number 1 here is who, what, and which. Who did that thing? What did that thing? Which did that thing? Okay, who did that thing? What and which? If you ask yourself these questions, then you know that that should be the next item in your sentence. Okay, the next one is the action. What action was done? Okay, for instance, go, went, sing, will all be under this part here, number 2, item 2. So those are the verbs in the sentence. Okay, yesterday, who, I, did what? Went to the supermarket. Okay, now in some sentences, we have 2 people in the sentence. One is the subject and the other is the object. Okay, we have who, what, and which also here, number 3. Okay, for instance, yesterday I went to the supermarket with my mom. So the second person here is my mom. Very good. Now the next one is number 4, which says how. How did this happen? How? Okay, so if you have something like on foot, it should be here. If you have something like loudly, it should be here. If you have something like hungrily, it should be here. I ate an apple hungrily yesterday. Okay, now where did this action happen? I ate an apple hungrily in the kitchen yesterday. In the kitchen tells us where. And then, just like I said before, when could also end this sentence. Okay, very good. Now let me quickly repeat what I've said. Okay, now to make a complete sentence, you start with when. Okay, when, ask yourself, when did this thing happen? Yesterday. Who, I, did what? Went to the supermarket. With who? With my mom. How? On foot. Where? Okay, very good. Now let's give some examples of these and see if we can get them right. Okay. The first one is I went to school yesterday. I went to school yesterday. So the first thing is either we put yesterday here. Yesterday. Who went to school? I. Did what? Went to school. Okay, yesterday I went to school. We can also decide to take these away and say I did what? Went to school. How? We don't have. Where? We don't have. When? And then we put yesterday here. Since yesterday can be at the beginning or at the end, so we can put there. So I went to school yesterday. I hope you understand that, right? We can have another example. Let's see if we say who, he, he did what? Was singing. He was singing. How was he singing? Loudly. He was singing loudly. So he, who? Our who is he. Did what? He was singing. Now, how was he singing? How was he singing? How was he singing? Loudly. How was he singing? Loudly. Very good. Now, I'm just gonna give you some disjointed words, and then let's see if we can arrange them to make a sentence. Very interesting. Very interesting, sorry. Very interesting was the movie. Now, if we want to make this into a correct sentence, we should say when. We don't know, it didn't tell us about any time, right? Who, we don't know who, but we know what. Our what here is the movie. Very good. Now the action is, or the verb here is was. Who, what, and which we don't have. How was the movie? Very interesting. Very interesting. So we said the movie was very interesting. What? The movie. The verb here is was. How was the movie? Very interesting. If you can ask yourself all these questions, then that means you can make complete sentences. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, let's just say there a lot of people are the bus stop at there a lot of people are the bus stop at. Now let's try to see if we can put this together. When, we don't know. Who, a lot of people, so we can say there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people. Action, we don't know. Who, we don't know. We know the first who. How, we don't know. Where, at the bus stop. There are a lot of people at the bus stop. Let's have more examples. Loudly, he singing was. When, we don't know. Who, he was, the actions was singing. Who, again, we don't have two who's there, so how was he singing? Loudly. I hope you understand. Very good. Now let's go on and look at some more examples. Book. This afternoon from my friend borrowed. Okay, now let's let's make this into a complete sentence. When, I can go and say this afternoon. This afternoon. So when, this afternoon. Who, I did what? What did you do? I borrowed a book. Who? Borrowed a book from who? From my friend. This afternoon, I borrowed a book from my friend. Or we can also say, I borrowed a book from my friend this afternoon, since when can be at the beginning or at the end. Okay, next one, let's see if we can say music. I very much like. Music I very much like. Now, can't we just go on and say music I very much like, okay? Now, the first one is who. Who, what, and which. So our who is I. Did what? Like. Sorry. Let's write in small letters. Like music. That's what you did. You like music. Okay. How did you like music? Very much. Hope you understand that. Music I like very much. Now who? Who is I? What did you do? I like music. How did you like music? Very much. Okay, next one. Last year to London went I. Now, if we're gonna make this into a complete sentence, we can say when. In that last year, I can also put that at the back. Last year, who I did what? Went to London. Is that right? Very good. Now let's look at the last one. New house. They in our village built last year. Okay, now let's try to construct this into a sentence. And it says, when? Can't we just say last year here? Oh, sorry. Last year. Okay. So who, what, which? Who, what, which? No who, but what? A new house. Did what? Was built. Where? Oh, I forgot they, so we can put they here. There is they here. Last year, who? They did what? Built a new house. Where? In our village. Last year, they built a new house in our village. Okay, I'm going to give you these conjoined sentences like this. I want you to join them together to make a complete sentence. Okay. Number one. So those are like your homework. One, a letter from my mother received last week. That's number one. Number two, I want you to form that into sentences. The children very excited were. Now, I hope you can do this, and then you can write your answers in the comment section so that I will check that, and if you're right, I will definitely tell you. Okay? So this is how we are going to end our class for today. I hope you understand all what I have taught you today, and I will be making some other videos after these. So to know if I've made a video, you can subscribe to my channel and then click on the bell icon so that when I upload a new video, you will get notified. I hope to see you again next time. Bye for now.